welcome to Bourbon Bites. My name is Clifton. Welcome to the channel with whiskey reviews with an 80s twist. Hello to those of you watching the replay, those of you joining live, say hello in the chat. And I'm so glad to see you guys. I know I'm running, so my internet just went out like in my neighborhood for like the past 30 minutes. It just came back up literally 2 minutes ago. So if the internet cuts out, I do have a backup personal hotspot that I'll turn on. So, but hopefully things look better than last week. Last week we had some technical difficulties as well, but this time it's out of my control. So Donnie can attest. He helped me test some things out earlier today. But I'm so glad to be back and reviewing a new to me brand. This is one I've heard a lot about. I've seen others review it and they have special releases, but I've never had a chance to try it myself. So huge shout out to the folks over at Blue Note who sent me 3 of their expressions of their whiskey to review, give my honest opinion. And yeah, so like I said, I've heard a lot about this one. I know we have some Tennessee folks in the chat. They might not be here yet, but I know they'll be shortly. It's a pretty well-beloved brand. They've not been around that long. They started in 2018, I think. But yeah, they hold the license to the oldest, they hold the oldest distillery license in the city of Memphis. Now, again, they are a relatively new distillery, but they have a really cool story, and they do focus on, all of their products are named after music references, as we'll see as we go through the lineup here. Blue Note in particular, I did a lot of learning about earlier today. Learned that it is the little jazzy chord you hear sometimes in some music that signifies jazz and blues. That kind of, it's like a little, like, if you just Google like Blue Note and there's like a few YouTube videos showing what it is, I never knew the term. So really cool. As you can see in their logo, they have the guitar strings in the logo. So it's really cool. I do love me some good bluegrass and blues and jazz music. I just got back from New Orleans 2 weeks ago. So really love that. But yeah, let's talk about these whiskeys, shall we? But first, say hello to a few folks here in the chat. I saw some people were hanging out early. James Taylor was here earlier. Tony Bag of Donuts, good to see you, Tony. Tony and James are both patrons of the channel, which, by the way, if you guys are curious about, I put a link down to the description below. We do fun things like hangouts, movie nights. We have a movie night coming up in the next few weeks for the original Roadhouse film from 1989. Have not seen it, but I want to watch the original before I watch the new one. So we're going to do that. I put a poll up on Patreon to vote for when you guys want to watch that. So make sure to go vote in the poll, patreon.com/bourbonbites. But you can join for as little as $2 a month and support the channel there. So huge shout out to my patrons here. Tater Dom's in the chat. Zopher, Brandon, Prescription Bourbon. Good to see you. I know quite a few folks have already reviewed these whiskeys. I'm not sure Prescription Bourbon. I'm not sure if you've done that on your channel yet. But Donnie is here. I gave you a bit of a shout out earlier. Thank you for helping with technical issues. I mentioned that my internet's been going in and out. So we'll see. We'll see if it sticks around. Lil, all the way from Australia. Good to see you, Lil. Thank you for reminding folks to hit the like button. It does help out the channel a ton. So good to see you here, Lil. I feel like I've missed you in the past few hangouts. So hopefully you can stick around. Maybe, maybe not. Swan is here as long as it's not a yellow note. Well, you know, that's a good note. I mean, that's a good, I was saying good note. That's a good point, you know. It's yellow snow. I don't know if that's the reference you're making, but all right, Donnie says the sound drop's happening. Well, I'll try to speak up a little bit. We were trying to troubleshoot some audio issues earlier as well, but I hope if I speak up, things will stay good. So, first of all, let me know what you guys are drinking in the chat. Do you guys happen to have any Blue Note to try with me? Like I said, I have 3 expressions. I have the Blue Note Juke Joint Bourbon, which is a 93 proof bourbon. I have the Blue Note Rye Whiskey, also 93 proof. And the Blue Note Crossroads, which is definitely one that I'm most interested in tasting through. Of course, I'm all interested in them all. Sorry, they're a little bit out of focus today, but I'll give you a better bottle shot once we actually get into them. But yeah, so Blue Note, like I said, they're based out of Memphis, Tennessee. They are, right now, these are sourced whiskeys, so these are actually from Kentucky. If you look at the back of the bottle here, it says they are distilled, let's see if that'll focus. Distilled in Kentucky and bottled by B.R. Distilling Company in Memphis, Tennessee. Aged in American white oak barrels, minimum of 3 years old. So, again, they do tell you that they are, not distilling this themselves, but they are bottling there in Tennessee, which Donnie let me know in a fun fact. They actually bottle a lot of different whiskeys at their facility. Heaven's Door, that brand, they do some bottling for them as well. So definitely more into like the bottling, the branding kind of side of things. But we'll see. Let's give this whiskey a try. Like I said, 3-year-old Kentucky bourbon. Brandon says, are these bottles distributed in California? That's a great question. I know you can buy them online. So I know, I'm not sure who they distribute through online. It's through their own website actually. But they actually, oh, so here we go. So you can buy it online if you are in a state that allows that to happen. They're actually mostly in the southeast. So I'm looking at their map here of where they're available. They're in New York, surprisingly. New York, oh gosh, I can't read these states. They're so little. The surrounding states of New York, but they're also in Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Montana, Missouri, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. So not yet in California unless you buy them online. But let's go and start. Let's get the Juke joint a try. This is the one I've heard the most about. I've heard this name. I know they had a cast or an uncut release that came out, what was like a year ago or so, and people raved about it. They said it was so good. This is just the regular 93 proof release of it. Again, not an age statement here. It's unfiltered. It is small batch and is a straight bourbon whiskey. That's about it. We know it's from Kentucky. That's all we know. So let's go ahead and give the Blue Note Juke joint a nose. All right. So it's kind of what I expected, right? Like it's not like an overly complicated nose. Now I'm looking at pricing right now just to look at their website just to see what these go for. So this one is, if you were to buy it on their website, let's see. Well, I added it to my cart, but it doesn't show me a price. They just expect you to blind buy it, I guess. Let's see, add to cart. Okay, so it's 59. Oh, sorry, no, sorry, that was for two of them. It's $29.99 on their website, so very affordable price point. I'm glad to see that. Like I said, I saw the $59.99 earlier. I was like, ooh, that's a bit high. But $30, you know, it is a really cool bottle. It has a cool story about the history. If you read the back of it, it talks about the Blue Note in jazz and how it kind of influenced that genre. But yeah, let's go into this now that I know that it's not a $60 bottle. Let's go and give it a nose again. Yeah, it's nothing surprising, but it's nothing off-putting. It doesn't have like a younger, grainy kind of note that some younger whiskeys have, and we know it's at least 3 years old. We don't know the actual age of it. There's a little bit of, I don't know the mash bill on this. I don't know, Donnie, I think you said you knew the mash bills earlier. I don't see it listed on their website. Let me just double check to see if they have it listed. Oh, yes, they do. Sorry. Wow, I had to click around. So this one is, like I said, minimum of 3 years old. It is a mash bill of 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. So pretty high rye content there. 21% rye. I was going to say, it does have the sweetness of the corn, but there is a little bit, like a bit of a mintiness going on the nose, which just makes sense with that high rye. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to tell you much off the nose, especially with the first one we're trying tonight. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers, y'all. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's not as sweet. It's still sweet, but the nose was a little misleading. It does go into that spicier, minty kind of note on the palate. It almost is like it almost kind of gives me like a peppermint more so, because it has like that sweet candy note as well. That's from probably the corn. It almost tastes like not a peppermint patty, but like a peppermint candy. I feel like I said that. I feel like I reviewed a whiskey last week or the week before where I said the exact same note. This is not. It doesn't taste like what I remember that one tasting like. This was just that combo of sweet and just like a little bit of like mintiness to it. I like it. It's a good taste. 93 proof. Love that proof point, especially with something younger. You know, you don't want to be too hot or it's gonna drink hot. But 93 proof. I'm gonna get a second sip of that one. Yeah, so easy to drink. And that price point, I think that's just right. I have nothing to complain about that price point. It's not overly complex. I don't think it's meant to be. You know, I look at the name, Blue Note Juke Joint. Like as Donnie was kind of telling me, like juke joints are kind of like I don't want to say speakeasy, but they're more of like the jazz clubs. Like they're more like chill. Like I think Donnie compared it to like a honky tonk for us southern folk. But it's kind of that same kind of thing. It's more of like a casual vibe. And I think that's probably the spirit of this spirit, is to have something that you can sip on for a while, have a few pours, not get too crazy. Yeah, that's a nice starting place for that, for sure. Just get caught up in the chat here. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Donnie, for dropping the link. Yeah, I got it pulled up, but I was on the wrong page. Whiskey Knows. What's up, Marty or Jenny? Good to see you. I know you commented on the stream earlier. Are you familiar? I assume you're in North Carolina, so you're probably pretty familiar with this brand, but let me know if you have any thoughts about this one. This is my first time trying it. So I have the Juke Joint Bourbon, the Rye, and the Crossroads. So I'm going to be tasting through those tonight. Mark Gale said, where did you get your Blue Note? I bought mine from my fellow YouTubers. Okay, so actually, this was actually sent to me by the brand. So I didn't purchase it. I know it's available to buy online. It's in a select few states, mostly in the Southeast right now. But yeah, so shout out to the folks at Blue Note for sending this over. But some people were asking earlier where you can get it in California. I'm pretty sure you can buy it online to ship to California. Again, I haven't fully investigated. I know it's for sure available in most Southeast states. I listed them off earlier, so catch the replay if you want to see those. But you can definitely order them online for sure. Perry is here. Good to see you, Perry. Sorry I missed your stream earlier. I was finishing up some work meetings, but hope it went well, my friend. Viking Bourbon in the house as well. Gandy Road. Awesome. Great crowd tonight. Thank you all so much for showing up. I know I went like a week or so without doing a live stream, but I have some really fun ones planned in the next few weeks. Of course, this one with Blue Note. The next 2 weeks I have special guests from distilleries. One is from I don't want to spoil it. I'll let Patreon know. Patreon will know first the upcoming streams, but the next 2 weeks I'm going to have special guests from the distilleries on. So keep an eye out. I'll put those up as soon as I can announce it, but Patreon might get a little sneak peek of who's coming soon. So Mark says the single barrel 121 proof is the bomb and costs $55. Oh wow, yeah, I see on their website they have that one still for sale. I haven't had a chance to look at pricing on it. The uncut's actually sold out on the website, so unfortunately that one's no longer available. But yeah, maybe if you find it in your area. Tiller's Bourbon Challenge. Well, first of all, I think it might be the first time seeing you in the chat. I don't know. I feel like I've either seen you on someone else's stream or you've been in my stream once before. But so good to see you. We do like Blue Note Juke Joint. Yeah, it's a great. I mean, for $30, it's. I have no complaints. That's what I said earlier. But Tennessee and Georgia have a lot. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like the branding and great start to the flight of their products here. James says relatively affordable. Yeah, the $30 is what I'm seeing right now. So, it's a very fair price, I think. All right, I'm gonna keep the Juke Joint in the glass. We're gonna go back to it a little bit later. But I want to move on to Okay, those of you familiar with the brand, should I move to the Rye, which is the same proof, or should I move to the Crossroads, which is a bourbon whiskey as well, but it's finished with toasted oak? This one's higher proof. Actually, I know I said I'll ask the chat, but here I am deciding for you. I'm actually going to stick with the Rye. I'm going to keep with the name. So this is the Juke Joint we just had. The Rye is a very, very similar label. Same proof. Same age almost. I think it says at least 3 years old. Yep. Also from Kentucky. So let's move to the Rye, and then we'll go back to the Crossroads. I still have some of the Juke Joint in my glass, so I'll do some comparison with the Crossroads and the Juke Joint later. But these being the same proof, I'm gonna stick with them for now. Donnie says Rye. Z-Man in the chat. What's up, Z-Man? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. By the way, thank you so much for those tuning in live. I know it's hard to get everyone on Thursday night, but seeing the amount of people in chat, hey, hit the thumbs up if you are ready for tonight's stream. Are you enjoying it so far? And if you're not yet subscribed, I'm here every Thursday night, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully you can join me for a future stream. All right, so let's go to the Rye. This one doesn't have a name. This one's just called Blue Note Rye Whiskey. I said I would give you a better. There we go. Love the label. I mean, the packaging is just really, really on brand for this. So it does give you a little QR code. I'm not sure what that leads to. I'll hold it up in case y'all want to scan it later. This is only on the Rye, so I don't know what this leads to. Pause and screenshot if you want to try to visit that QR code. It might just take you to their website, honestly. I just haven't had a chance to scan it. So this is the Rye, like I said, 3 years old. Also from them, also distilled in Kentucky. So live from the patios and how here in the chat as well. Cheers. I have a Blue Note uncut store pick. Someone was telling me the store picks earlier. Yeah, so I see the uncut is sold out online right now. I wish I could get it because I like the regular one, so I would love to try that. But a store pick sounds amazing. Gandy Red says, I have the Riverset Rye. Really enjoyed it. So Travis makes a great comment down below. Also, hi Travis. Blue Note Rye replaced the Riverset Rye. So yeah, Donnie was telling me earlier. Blue Note, they usually had this under a different label, which was Riverset Rye. They changed it to go more in line with the Blue Note branding. So I think it might be the same product. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was distilled in Kentucky as well, but this one is definitely distilled in Kentucky. So yeah, let's go ahead and give the Blue Note Rye a nose. That's also sound more like a green note, huh? That would be kind of funny if they called it a green note, but I mean, Blue Note's kind of the thing. So, oh wow. Okay, let's see if we have a mash bill for this one, because that's pretty rye heavy. I mean, the other one was pretty rye. Okay, that's why. It's a 95% rye. So 95% rye grain, 5% malted barley. I was like, that is a high rye. Yeah, that is. I mean, it's a different kind of mint. I got like peppermint on the bourbon. I don't get peppermint. This is definitely more of like a spearmint or like a really. I don't know the difference between like spearmint, winter mint. One of those really, really bright mints. But there's still some sweetness on it for sure. It's definitely not straight up mint. It almost has a bit of a fruitiness. I think it smells fruitier than the bourbon, which is interesting. Usually the bourbons to me smell fruitier. Definitely you can get that grain though. You can tell that's a rye whiskey for sure. All right, let's go and give it a try. Cheers. Ooh. Yeah. Again, that proof, that 93 proof, it works so well. Now, let me check the pricing on this one. I mean, my sweet spot of proof is usually 100 to 107-ish in that range. But I think with this, ryes drink hotter anyways, which to me is a good thing. But yeah, that is. I can't see a price on this one. I'm assuming it's probably about the same price. It doesn't show the price on the website, but it's always the right time for rye, says Zopher. Absolutely. Yeah, Riverset Rye was replaced by Blue Note Rye. Gotcha. They also used to have a Riverset Rum. Ooh, interesting. Gotta love when people branch out and try new things. Gandy Road says, minty sweet. You are right on. Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. That's what I said about the bourbon. The bourbon was more of a peppermint. It was more of a sweeter, more vanilla-y kind of sweet. But the rye... The rye has a bright, fruity quality. I'm thinking like pear, maybe. I mean, to me, it's reminding me of like a springtime kind of vibe. I mean, the closest thing I can relate it to, which is a Scotch, which is a completely different flavor profile, but it's the same vibe, is the Orchard Town. What is it? Orchard House by Compass Box. That is a very fruit forward, sweet. I get pear on that one. I get a little bit of apple. This is that, but in the realm of rye. It doesn't have any, of course, any of the malted barley notes, even though there is 5% malted barley. This is a rye, but it's fruity, and that's something I don't normally get unless it's a finished rye. I like that. Gandy Road says it paid about $30. That's what the bourbon was, so that sounds about right. I like that. It's I said pear, but it's like a cooked down pear. It's not like a fresh pear. It's like if you had like, is it stewed pears? Is that like a southern thing? I don't know. I felt like I had stewed pears with like cinnamon on them in the past. This kind of reminds me of that on the nose for sure. That's nice. I could totally see it being a summertime rye. I mean, I said spring, but I mean, warm months, I'm looking forward to them. Trust me, today in LA, it was a record low today. It's been like 50 degrees all day. I just walked to go get dinner before the stream, and I came back and I'm like shivering. I'm like, what the heck? It's April in Los Angeles. Why is it so cold? But yeah, this is definitely not a winter. It's not a winter flavor profile, but definitely spring or summer. Yeah, this is good, man. They're really impressing me so far. Again, I've tried these a little bit. Like you see, I've been drinking on these a little bit. Not too bad. I've had a few pours. The one I've had the most of is the next one. This next one is the Blue Note Crossroads. Now, this one is more interesting to me because this is a straight bourbon whiskey, but it's finished with toasted French oak. Now, I know there's like mixed opinions about toasted oak staves, finishing with toasted oak. I tend to like it. I think that it's. I was trying to see which one's on front of the camera here. I think that toasted oak staves, when done right, can add a layer of complexity that I think, especially a younger whiskey like this, I think it can really, really enhance it. So let's see about this one. Like I said, this one is I think it's a bit of a blend. So this one, the others all say distilled in Kentucky. This does not say. This just says, this unique expression combines the unmistakable boldness of Blue Note Bourbon with the sophistication of the finest toasted French oak, curated from an artisan cooperage in Centerville, Delaware. Centerville, I don't know how to pronounce that. Taste in every sip the unforgettable intersection of notes that embody the inherent spirit of the blues. The sound and movement of the blues were meant to break the rules. This is Blue Note Crossroads. Gotta love some good marketing PR speak there. It's hard to see the back, but it's like really cool. It's like a it's meant to be a backdrop, so the front of it has this guy like with his guitar, and back behind it you can see like a bit of like a dirt road. It's a really cool bottle. Now this one does say produced and bottled by BR Distilling in Memphis. So I don't actually know what's in here. I don't know. The other ones were labeled specifically as Kentucky, so maybe this has some. I think Donnie said there's a chance there might be some Indiana, some Tennessee, some Kentucky in here. We don't know. Let me actually pull up their product page on the website just to see if we get a little bit more info about what's in the bottle. Yeah, no, I didn't think so. It doesn't say. It's 100 proof, like I said, but there's no additional info other than the finish, and then it's a straight bourbon. There's not even an age statement. But we know with it being a straight bourbon, it has to be at least 3 years old. So, finished with 2 types of toasted French oak staves. So there's that additional info. Let's see. Tony says, I just poured Juke joint from Sealbox, 123 proof. Oh, wow. So Sealbox had a cast strength. Oh, man. Let me know how that one is. I can get Sealbox out here. James said, snow today where I work. Oh, man. I felt like it should have been snowing here in California. Travis said, Crossroads is French oak finished MGP. So Travis says MGP. Okay. Like I said, I don't have the official information. I don't know. I love MGP. So if it is, I'm very happy. But good to know. I think there's been rumors floating around whether it was a blend or if it was sourced. They don't say on the bottle, so I can't give an answer to that. But we're going to see how it tastes. That's the most important, right? It could be from anywhere, but as long as it tastes good. Emily says, hey, y'all, currently under very angry internet. Well, Emily, you missed it earlier, but I literally lost internet for 30 minutes. Literally 2 minutes before I went live, it came back up. So we're so far so good. But I feel you. I blame the weather. Chris is here as well. Chris and Lil. Oh my gosh, I hope to see at least one of you in the after party hangout, which for those of you that don't know is for everyone $10 and up on Patreon. Y'all get to hang with me. That sounds very casino. Y'all get to hang with me. No, but we do an after party after every live stream on Thursday nights. We get to hang for a few hours, drink, shoot the shit, have a great time. Again, patreon.com/bourbonbites if y'all want to get in on that. But there's a free trial. So if you're like, do I really want to hang out with Clifton every Thursday night? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it's a free trial to find out. So now's a good time. We're going to do our movie night in a couple weeks, and then after party after this. So if you join that and you're curious about how to join that, it's all on our Discord server. I don't have a link copied for Discord right now, but I think in the description below, you can just go to bourbonbites.com, and there's a link down at the bottom that links to our Discord. That's where all our hangouts are. So make sure you join us over there. Great community. All these folks are there. Such a good time. So thank you, Donnie, for the info drop there. All right, let's go to the Crossroads. So like I said, 100 proof, we're going up 7 proof points a bit. But let's go and give this one a nose. Again, French toasted oak staves. Speaking my language. By the way, this one double gold in the San Francisco World Spirits Competition of last year. So I know some people like to take the Spirits Awards with a grain of salt, but I love seeing a recent winner because I feel like I see things and like, oh, we won in 2016. I'm like, okay, your whiskey was probably a lot different in 2016, but they won in 2023 and 2022. So pretty recent, I will say. Oh, the nose. That French oak is the first thing you smell. I think it kind of beckons back to what I liked about the nose on the bourbon. It's sweet. The bourbon definitely is mintier. So the Juke joint bourbon has that minty pepper note that I was calling out earlier. But this one got that little bit of that extra char. You can definitely smell it. It's not like, I guess I would say it's a little ashy, kind of like, not like a peat smoke, but a bit like a campfire. I do like that note. Maybe I'm a little biased. I grew up in Boy Scouts. I love campfires and going camping. But yeah, it's a little bit of like kind of ashy, like freshly put out fire note. It's a little sweet. Not like a barbecue. It's, well, okay. I'm saying not like a barbecue, but when you combine that sweetness with the smoky, do get a little hint of maybe some Memphis style barbecue. I don't know. I've never had Memphis style barbecue. Adam Free was telling me about it earlier on Discord. So, by the way, people have been posting their photos of food lately. I know Zover got some amazing, I think it was Vietnamese food earlier today. A few other people got some barbecue recently from Texas. Oh gosh, y'all make me so jealous with your food. All right. No, I do like the nose on this. It's definitely more smoky, a little more toasty, dare I say. Gandy said you had me at whiskey. Prescription Bourbon says Indiana's state motto is the Crossroads of America. Oh, okay. I see some digging there, trying to figure it out. All right, let's go ahead and give Crossroads a try. Cheers. Oh. That's it for me. I mean, I kind of hinted to it earlier with the fact that I drank a good bit of this. I combined bit and chunk. I said a good bunk of this, but no, this is right up my alley. It's toasty. I think the toast level it's not overwhelmingly that like char. It truly does complement the bourbon that's in the bottle. So again, I don't know where they're sourcing their bourbon from. You know, maybe it's still the 3-year-old that we were having earlier, but that toasted layer. I mean, color wise, I mean, you can tell a little bit. It's a good bit darker than all the ones we're drinking here. But that layers so nicely on top of that sweet younger bourbon. It really rounds it out in a really good way. Now, price point. This one said it was for sale. Let me see if I can pull up the price on this one. I imagine it's probably a little bit more than the others. Let me add to my cart here. 40. So not bad. Only about $10 more. So it really depends on what you're looking for, right? Like for me, if you want a simple sipping bourbon, the Blue Note Juke joint is fantastic at that. I mean, it's a little sweet, it's a little minty. It's an excellent sipping proof at 93. That was the rye. I was like, wait a minute, that didn't taste like what I remembered. This is the bourbon. I've almost finished. I'll pour a little bit more here shortly. Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of what I think other people will like more, I think more people might like the Juke joint over the Crossroads because that French oak toast might be a little polarizing, I would say. The Juke joint I think could be enjoyed by anybody. I think it really is just a good solid budget pour. I mean, $30, great price. To me, I think the Crossroads is worth the $10 extra. It's my favorite of the night. I love that French oak, love the higher proof. But either way you go, you know, I think they're all completely solid pours. The rye, you gotta like rye whiskey. I like rye whiskey. It's a high rye, so it's definitely a it's definitely gonna take you by surprise if you're not a big fan of rye whiskey. But I like it. I like them all. They all really impressed me. Now I'd love to try some of their more limited expressions like the uncut. Some of y'all said you had store picks. Sounds amazing. They had a 17-year release. What else did they have? They had a 9-year, a 10-year. They've had a lot of really cool releases. Right now, like I said, I just have the standards. It says, by the way, the website says world-class whiskey for an unbeatable price. And I think based on the price of these alone, that definitely says that right there. Donnie says, sipping on Riverset Rye. That was changed to Blue Note Rye. Store pick that I have, that was, oh, you were on the picking team with Tarek. Or is it Tarek? I want to say Tarek, like the video game. I think you said his name earlier. I think it's Tarek of Elixir Spirits in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Packs much at 160. Yeah. It sounds like all of you that are drinking it at higher proof really love it. So, listen, folks at Blue Note, you want a second review on my channel? You know, I'd love to try some of those high proof picks or even the limited releases like the 17. I don't know what the proof on that one was, but yeah, would love to try it. But this is their core lineup. What a solid core lineup. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's absolutely worth trying. And if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments below what your favorite Blue Note is, because I'm really curious. I actually think, you know what, I feel like I flew through those really quickly, but I think I might wrap up a bit early tonight. I don't want to just linger and just, you know, ramble on. I think we're going to head over to our after party hangout for those of you on Discord. But yeah, thank you all so much for Again, I hope I didn't feel like it was rushed too much. It's just, it's when I'm giving limited info, like where it's from, age and stuff, I don't really have too much to talk about other than reactions. They're all good. Recommend them all. Prefer the Crossroads, but yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, I have some really fun streams coming up soon that will be longer than this. This one was kind of cut a little short, not intentionally, but we just kind of flew through the whiskey. So check Patreon for a sneak peek at what's coming next. Like I said, the next 2 weeks I have some very, very special guests. But yeah, cheers to y'all. Quickie with Cliffy. I love it. I love it. And with all the titles. But yeah, seriously, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the Hangout. Everyone else, I'll see you next Thursday, same time, same place, with a very, very special guest. Cheers. I'll see y'all next week. Join Discord. Hang out with me during the week. I'm around all the time. I check it way too often. All right. Bye, y'all. Cheers.